Two quotations. Former Vice President Dick Cheney, October 2007, quote, "We will not allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon," close quote. Retired General John Abizaid last year, quote, "There are ways to live with a nuclear Iran," close quote. Is the attainment of a nuclear weapon by Iran, or should it be, flatly unacceptable to the United States? Is that where you begin with American policy? Whatever else we do, we won't let them get that.
The question is, what can we do about it if they make a bomb? What the Iranians have stated they will do, and I believe that they will, is if we attack their nuclear facilities, they will take out Saudi Arabia's major oil facilities with surface-to-surface missiles. And
which
that
is
would
pretty
be
easy to
cake.
do. They could do that.
We're talking about 10 million barrels instantly would be taken off markets, world markets. 17 million barrels of traded oil in the Gulf would be taken off, and we would be paying $400 to $500 for a gallon of gasoline. And are we as Americans, I'm talking about American people, prepared to go that far? And I'd say no.
Israeli Defense Minister Ephraim Sneh, in an October interview this month, as we sit here taping this, quote, "If no crippling sanctions are in place by Christmas, Israel will strike. Israel will strike. If we are left alone, we will act alone." Is that somebody getting out ahead of his prime minister? Is that the Israelis testing the Western response? This was in an interview with the Sunday Times in London. Or is that a statement of Israeli policy? Have they already answered the question?
Sneh is a friend of mine.
Is he a crazy person, or is this?
No, he's not at all crazy. He's not at all crazy. You know,
this is a man who knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. He knows Iran. He knows the politics. He's labor. He was labor. And if he says that Israel will attack, and he doubted they would a couple of years ago, they probably will.
I think that when you have a 2% approval rating of Obama inside Israel, according to some polls, this was sort of what Israel did during the Bush administration, especially after that flawed 2006 estimate that Iran wasn't really getting the bomb. But now I think when an Israeli high official says that they're going to do something, we have to take it seriously. So I agree with Bob.
If Israel, and I think it's almost inevitable, well, not inevitable, there's a 50% chance, will attack, we should expect the worst.
And the worst is, give me 3 or 4 sentences on what happens the day after Israel attacks, begins its attacks. Is
Dubai gets hit, Abqaiq, Ras Tanura, our supply lines in Iraq will be hit. And they can hit them. They can get across that border. And there are Iraqis that will do their bidding. We'll see a war in Lebanon. We're close to one now anyhow. And you will see this chaosistan, as McChrystal called it recently, come into being.
I think there's also something that's going on that's I haven't seen it in my lifetime, is the status of the Europeans. They were always the good cop and we were the bad cop. And we were always going to,
the Arabs, from the Arab point of view.
We were going to take care of business in the world, and they were going to sort of say that we should have done soft power with the understanding that we were always there. Now we're not there. So this is why you have the elites are not with the people in Europe. They're worried about Obama. This is why Sarkozy keeps lecturing. He kept saying the centrifuges are spinning, because if they get a 2 or 3 stage rocket, cities like Frankfurt, and now you're going to have a very bizarre situation like you do with North Korea and Japan. So a country like Germany, for example, that could build nuclear weapons like it does Mercedes, and they would work 4,000 probably in a year. They're going to sit there within missile range of a lunatic regime that says things like, we want a trade, we want this. And then the Europeans are going to be saying to us, you were supposed to, under our unspoken accords, make sure the Western system that emerged out of the Cold War was stable. And you did that very well in the Cold War. And now what are you going to do about this problem?
Probability that the Israelis do strike by the end of the first quarter of by March of next year?
49%.
Victor?
I'd say 50-50.
That's a cheerless note on which to end, but one worth pondering. Victor Davis Hanson, Bob Baer, the author of The Devil We Know. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Peter Robinson for Uncommon Knowledge and the Hoover Institution. Thanks for joining us.